So in this essay, the Alter Rebbe is, at this point, sharing with us the uniqueness in doing physical mitzvahs as opposed to having a love and awe of God in our soul. So what we learned till now, or a point till now, is that the whole purpose of creation is a physical world that we refine. We engage in the physical world, that there's sparks of godliness that is there, captured in exile, and engaging with that physical object, like an esrog, or like tefillin. That object is divine stature, as it's being animated directly, and not, so to speak, indirect. And therefore, it is holy. And we refine it by that's usage. So now the Alter Rebbe gives us more reasoning, additional understanding of physical-oriented mitzvahs, their virtue over the heart and the love and awe that the heart feels for God. So here the Alter Rebbe explains like this, that the virtue of the very source of where our soul comes from versus the physical of this world, the very source itself provides us with an understanding why physical acts of mitzvahs are greater than the soul's experience of love and awe of God. Why is that? So we've learned before God's name, Yud Ke Vav Ke, Yud and a Hey and a Vav and a Hey, the Tetragrammaton. That name of God can be spelt out in 4 different ways. I know some of you, this is going to be backwards. It depends if you're watching this on your cell or if you're watching this on your desktop. We have over here Shema, Sag, Ban, and Av. Shema is 45, numeric value 45, Sag is 63, Ban is 52, and Av is 72. How is that? Take a quick look over here. Is because every letter, the letter Yud, well, we make it as a small little, but the pronunciation of it is Yud, which is spelled out Yud Vav Daled. Yud Vav Daled is a numeric value of Yud is 10, Vav is 6, Daled is 4, so that's 20. Now that's the same for every letter, for every spelling of God's name. But now the letter Hey can be spelled out, written out. If you're writing it out, you write the letter Hey, so we know to pronounce it as Hey. But the truth is, we're pronouncing it's a word. So how's it spelled? Well, it could be spelled Hey Aleph, Hey Yud, or Hey Hey, which brings you to a different numeric value. Hey Aleph is 5, Aleph is 1, so that's 6. Hey Yud is 15, because Yud is 10. And Hey Hey is 2 5s, is 10. And then Vav could be spelled out different ways. Vav could be spelled out Vav Aleph Vav, which is numeric value of Vav is 6, Aleph 1, and 6 again, that's 13. Or Vav could be spelled Vav Vav, which is 12, two sixes. Or it can be spelled out Vav Yud Vav, which is 12 plus the Yud is 10, 22. And then the final Hey again. So you have Hey Aleph, Hey Hey, Hey Yud, and so on. Again, I'm showing you over here. So when you add it all up, you get different numeric values. So what's going on over here? What does this mean? Well, it means very simply, God's name, the Tetragrammaton, Shema Meforish, this name of God is the vital force of everything in creation. Now, it's the vital force of everything in creation, so it represents different aspects in the creative force. 4 different components. Here we're only going to speak about 2. Shem Ma and Shem Sag. These 2 here. Okay, Sag, Samach Gimel 63. Ma is Memhe 45. I confuse you yet? So, Shem Sag, God's name, numeric value, is a vital force of what? It's the vital force of the world of Tohu, the world of chaos. Shem Ma is the vital force of our soul that comes from the world of Tikkun, from the world of fixing. Okay? What's greater? The world of Tohu precedes the world of Tikkun. The world of chaos precedes the world of rectification. God creates first, in the spiritual realm, the world of Tohu. And you see that in the verse in Chumash. Bereshit bara Elokim es hashamayim v'es. In the beginning, God created heaven and earth. And the world was tohu vavohu. It was confused, chaos. And the Spirit of God was upon the waters. So first came, and that's in the physical. That is a manifestation or a reflection of the way it was in the spiritual evolutionary process of creation. That first came the world of Tohu, the world of chaos. And in that world of chaos, the lights in the vessels, the light was so powerful, the vessel was very small to maintain it, and contain it. And it shattered the vessel. And from there you got 288 shards of sparks of holiness and godliness that now fell to the lowest place, this physical world in particular. So that's where the physical comes from. Our soul comes from the name Ma of God, which is from the world of Tikkun, the world of rectification. Now, therefore, the soul has the capability to rectify the fallen parts of godliness from the higher world and to rectify it. But yet the source of the soul is lower than the source of that which it's rectifying, the physical material world. So, by virtue of its source, the material object that we engage in to do a mitzvah, the esrog, right, the tefillin, and the like, come from a higher source than even the soul itself, at least the nefesh, ruach, and neshama level of the soul that's inside of us, enclosed within us. It comes from the world of Tikkun, from the name of Ma, which is a lower source of vitality. Just in case you're not completely confused. It comes from the glimmer, the ray of Adam Kadmon, from primordial man, from the forehead of primordial man. There's the glimmer that's on the forehead of the individual. That ray is where the soul comes from. So in that respect, it's lower. With this, the Alter Rebbe says we can understand why food sustains us. Think about it. How could inorganic food, like water, or even vegetation, or even animal life. How could it sustain us? How could it give us vitality? Is that some wheat? It's going to give me vitality? How's that possible? How do we understand that? I mean, obviously we live it, but that doesn't mean we understand it. It's because it comes from a higher source. The material world comes from a higher source, from the world of Tohu, from the world of chaos. Shem Sag, the name of Sag, of God, that is the creative force in that world. Therefore, it fell through the breaking of the vessels to a lower place. And as the old saying goes, the greater they are, the greater the fall. So the higher it is, the further down it fell. So it fell into this world, and now, because it comes from a higher place, it has the capability of giving us vitality, sustaining us as a result. Now, we need to rectify it. And that's where our soul comes from, the world of rectification, of tikkun, by eating the food in the appropriate way. So it gives us vitality. But indeed it does. There's another reason why physical acts of mitzvahs is even greater than the soul's engagement of love and awe of God. Because the soul comes from Shema. The physical mitzvah comes from Shem Sag, from the name of Sag, of God, a higher place. Further, another reason why action-related mitzvahs is loftier than the soul's love and awe of God is because God says, by my face you shall not see. In other words, the innermost dimension of God, the inwardness, cannot descend below in a revealed way. You only get an external aspect of the perception of God in the love and awe of God that your soul experiences. But the action-oriented mitzvahs, we get the internal aspect of Netzachod and Yesod of them that is revealed to us. So another reason why action-oriented mitzvahs is greater than the love and awe that the soul experiences. Again, because we get the internal aspect of God as opposed to the love and awe doesn't. Another point is that why mitzvahs require action and are superior to the love and awe of God that our soul experiences is because love and awe is a spiritual thing and the mitzvah is a physical thing. And metaphorically, the Alter Rebbe explains as follows. I'm teaching right now an idea. You're only getting a ray of my intelligence. You're not getting my intelligence isn't implanted in you, right? Not at all. You're just getting, as a matter of fact, I try to explain it this way and that way. You know why? Is because I'm only giving a ray. The intensity of the thought and the idea and the understanding in my mind is far greater than that which I'm able to put into words and to expose and reveal to you, right? So again, you're only getting a glimmer of the way it is in my understanding in the brain, in my mind, in my intelligence. Right. So likewise, we're only getting a glimmer of an attachment to God through our love and awe of God. However, being that the love and awe is an abstract spiritual thing. However, physical action-oriented mitzvahs is metaphorically like a parent giving birth to a child. You get the brain of the parent. You're not getting just a glimmer of intelligence that this teacher gives to the student, but the parent is giving the very core and essence of their mind to the child. So much so that that child's mental capacity could far exceed that of the parent. Because the parent is giving the essence of the mind, not a glimmer of the mind, the very core essence. That's why you see, how a child has the idiosyncrasies and has the mannerism and the way of understanding and seeing things in a similar way as the child has as the parent. Why? Because they're not getting a glimmer of intelligence from the parents. They're getting the essence of their intelligence. Now, because it's essential, if it's a glimmer, so that glimmer can't make you smarter in that moment. I mean, in that moment, you can't be smarter than what you've been given in that glimmer of intelligence, right? But the child could far outdo the parent, whereas the parent may not have certain capabilities, cognitive capabilities, but since the essence is being given over to the child, so that child has now the essential brain, therefore their cognitive capabilities could far outdo and surpass the parent. Again, because they're not getting a glimmer, they're not getting a ray, they're getting the sun, not the ray of light, but the sun itself, the brain itself. That's the metaphor. What's that a metaphor for? So in that drop of seed from the father and in the egg in the mother, you have the essential brain of the parents, right? So they're getting the essence from the source. So this is a metaphor to understand that physical action, mitzvahs, you're getting the essence of God, the essence of the divine intelligence. You're not getting merely a glimmer, a ray of light of God. You're getting the essence of God himself and his divine wisdom, supreme wisdom. Powerful idea. And as it is understood in Hasidic geography, this is coming from the kelim, the vessels of Malchus of Atzilus. It's that Malchus of Atzilus is the creative power, and the vessels are the carrying in it the essence of the divine, whereas the light doesn't. It's the vessel that carries the essence of the divine. Powerful idea. That's it. So, 3 points today. Why physical, earthy acts of mitzvahs is greater than the love and awe of God. First is, it comes from a higher source. The name Sag in the world of Tohu. That's where the physicality of the mitzvah comes from. Whereas the soul comes from the name Ma, God's name of Ma, 45, which is in the world of Tikkun. So has the capability of rectifying that which comes from the world of chaos, but it is a lower degree of divinity. Second is, we explained that you can't get the inner aspect of the divine through love and awe of God, only the external. As opposed to the mitzvah, you get the inner aspect. And as now we just explained, you could have the inner aspect, but you're getting from the essence of the divine. Just as a child gets from the essence of the parent, you get the essence of the brain rather than a mere reflection of the brain, getting the essence of the brain. So that's a metaphor for us to understand. Never getting the essence of God, We're connecting to the essence of God through the physical act of a mitzvah as opposed to a light of God. And that's it, folks. Heavy duty. Okay. Don't see any questions. I guess it's clear. I hope it is. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Fine, coming to you from Chabad Zichron Kadeshim in Montreal, Canada. It's a privilege and a pleasure to share with you, Tanya. Have a wonderful day. God bless. And don't forget to share.